Hey, thanks for staying with us, Twitch. Welcome back. My name's A.M. Grabelny, and we're here with another session from reInvent. Who are you?
I'm Adam Osterholt. I'm a principal architect with VMware, and I've been focused the last 3.5 years on VMware Cloud on AWS. So I've been working that from before the partnership was announced to today where we are. We're pretty much across the world with AWS and gaining customers every day.
Welcome, and who do we have on the end here?
I'm Gabe, and I've made this stage my own personal Margaritaville. I've just got my cheeseburger in paradise. It's the only place you can wear a crop top and flip-flops, walk on in.
Good job, partner.
Served. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Oh, sorry. What
that's
happened? I'm so sorry.
I'm Gabe Hollenby.
I get us confused too.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so VMware. You work for VMware. Yep. Why don't we level set for our audience here a little bit? What is VMware, and what is VMware Cloud, and how does VMware and AWS intersect?
Yeah, no, great. So VMware is I'm sure everybody's aware, started in the virtualization space with vSphere, and then allowing customers to create private clouds in their on-premises environment. But as the public cloud has grown, especially AWS, we know that customers want an easier way to onboard workloads into the cloud. They don't want to have to go through, they want to be able to do bulk migrations, they want to be able to move quickly. So we partnered with AWS to build VMware Cloud on AWS, which is inside of AWS, running on bare metal hardware, so we use the bare metal service from EC2, yep. And we allow customers to provision SDDCs. And an SDDC includes...
What do those letters mean?
Yeah, so an SDDC is a software-defined data center. I always think everybody knows my magic acronyms. So a software-defined data center includes our vSphere, our compute virtualization, our vSAN components, which is our storage virtualization, and then NSX, which is our network virtualization. We bundle those together into an SDDC bundle, and we deploy them on top of bare metal Amazon infrastructure. So today we use the i3 instance type, yep. As well as the R5. Okay. So we can also do, another area that we expanded the partnership with AWS is we now can also leverage EBS for storage. So we can connect EBS to our vSAN storage virtualization software and create customer environments on diskless hosts. So there's no local disk. They just use EBS for their storage backend.
I've got to say too, I work in the partner network. I'm partner SA, and VMware obviously qualifies as that, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
And just to give you a little behind the scenes magic, right? A little behind this peek behind the curtain. That was a huge project. Yeah. The VMware Cloud on AWS was a huge project for the partner SAs. It took a lot of work, a lot of dedication. It was one of the largest partnerships I think that we've ever done. It's legendary in the partner network.
Yeah, it's the same for us. And you know, what we still today have massive teams, right, on both sides that are working to integrate additional services, right? With the back end, the control plane that we built for VMware Cloud on AWS all leverages native AWS services as well. And so we're really, living that cloud native life for the back end control plane that allows us to deploy these customer environments and isolate them inside of a VPC so that they can move their workloads seamlessly and easily without the friction of replatforming or things like that.
So maybe something explicit we should say is customers can take what they're running on their premises with VMware vSphere and drop that straight into it running in an AWS account instead.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's great. It's the same control plane that they're already used to.
Yeah. We even go one step further, and what we did, this is another one of the big parts of the joint engineering effort, is we wanted to allow customers to consume native AWS services from VMware virtual machines, the same way they do from an EC2 instance. And so we used an elastic network, an ENI.
Yep, elastic network interface.
We connect each SDDC to a native AWS VPC, and it gives that line rate connectivity between the two. So we automatically tune the routing tables so that everything can communicate, but we still have everything firewalled, right? So it's not like that everything's just wide open. Customers have to explicitly decide what they want to use, but the communication path is
open
same,
if they want it.
Right? It's exactly the same, and they can leverage those services. And one of the things I'm seeing our customers do a lot is they take these traditional applications that they've got on premises, they move those to the cloud on VMware Cloud on AWS to be closer, but maybe then they want to enhance that application, maybe build a mobile front end, and they'll use native AWS services.
Maybe like Amplify,
yeah,
we just
exactly,
heard about.
exactly. And then they can use those services and still communicate with that back end without having to spend money on something that really doesn't return an ROI to just refactor that to refactor it.
Right.
Instead, they can focus on where the ROI is, and that's with native AWS services in conjunction with VMware.
Right.
Sweet.
This keys into, I think something you don't hear enough about. You hear a lot about it in enterprise workloads and things like that, but this hybrid cloud idea, right? Like where, maybe some of my workloads are locked in on-prem. I can't do anything with them, but also I need to scale out, and so, VMware, AWS, they kind of bridge that gap with VMware Cloud. I think that's the primary use case in my mind, right?
In my mind, being in VMware for quite a while and seeing how the industry's progressed, I think there's really no better solution for customers. I mean, we're solving large-scale enterprise customer problems in the most simple way possible, right? These customers, a lot of times our customers may not even know who the app owners are, some of these applications. And with our HCX technology that's built into VMware Cloud on AWS, we're able to take those workloads and we can actually move them to the cloud with zero downtime, right? We stretch a layer 2 network from on-premises to VMware Cloud, and then we're able to move that workload via our vMotion technology, and we can have that workload go across, and I hope to demo that here in a minute.
Yeah, maybe you have a demo.
Yeah, so maybe why don't we jump into that demo and then we can talk a little bit more.
Okay, we'll come to your screen now. Here we are.
Yeah, okay, so what
are we looking at here? There's a lot going on.
Yeah, so this is a busy screen. I apologize. This is my.
It's okay, it's business. Business is busy.
This is playland for me, right? It's got all kinds of things in here that testing various things. So this is our vSphere client, and this is based on our vCenter server. So this is our management, our control plane for the VMware environment. And so inside of here, we have resource pools and all of that, not really important for the purposes of this conversation. But what I have is I have a single view of both the environment in VMware Cloud on AWS as well as on-premises. So this on-premises environment is actually in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Right? And the VMware Cloud.
That's where I'm from.
Exactly. That's why we chose there, because we knew that's where you were from.
Thank you for playing to my ego.
And then the other one is in Virginia. So it's an SDDC
that's
running
not where I'm
in
from.
Virginia. Yeah.
Why couldn't you have put
I know, Singapore. We could. It's just a matter of what I had to demo today. But we do have some of our team that's in Singapore, and they actually use this environment to demo there as well.
Okay.
So it's very possible to go anywhere in the globe on this. We only require 250 milliseconds of latency or less, which you can get basically anywhere of 250 milliseconds. So in here, the first thing is we give you this single view, this single pane of glass to see both your on-premises and your cloud environment. So as you can see, I have my VMware Cloud environment, and then this is my on-premises, the vCenter set 01. Let me make that just a smidge bigger. Oh, maybe not that big. There, well, okay. And then underneath here, I have a lot of workloads running in my on-premises environment. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to switch over to the VM view so I can find where I put the VM. And down here I have this migrate folder. And under reInvent migration, I have a couple of web servers running.
Okay.
And so these are operating today, so I'm going to focus on web 02 here. And it has an IP address, as you can see, of 192.168.70.114. But I've started a ping test down here where we're just pinging that VM, and it's just continuously running pings. And now I'm going to migrate that to Virginia. And so I'm going to right-click here, go down to HCX Actions. It's really this easy. Migrate HCX to the target site. It's going to pop up. I just set a couple of parameters, and now I'm doing this in a very manual way here.
Yeah, of course.
This is not how customers would do this at bulk. We have a full API for this, as well as we can do bulk groupings and create waves of migration, so you can do them hundreds at a time. But for the purpose of this, I'm just going to do one. And then I just tell it where I want things to go. So I give it a compute container, so I'm just going to tell it to go to the compute resource pool. I'm going to tell it what folder I want it in on the destination, and for timing, I'm just going to select one randomly. And then what storage I want it to go on, very straightforward stuff. I want it to go to the workload data store. And how I want to provision that storage, I want a thin provision because I'm very low on storage in this environment. But this is where the magic is. We have 3 different ways that we can migrate workloads.
You managed to get magic into a drop-down list.
Yeah, exactly.
You have the best web developers.
So we have vMotion workload type. And so this will do a live vMotion. It will move it, and it basically transfers all the storage, all of the memory state, and it continues running throughout that.
That's amazing.
We also have bulk migration, and this is for customers that just have a huge estate, and they just want to move everything in one big event. Okay. It basically powers down the VM and just starts it up in the cloud.
Okay.
So it's another option. And then we have replication-assisted vMotion, which is in preview right now. But what that does is it brings those 2 together, so you can do bulk migration live without any downtime.
Very cool.
For the purpose of this, I'm just going to do a regular vMotion. And that's all you have to set. And then you just click finish. It's going to validate the environment that everything's good, and it's going to start the migration.
So while we're waiting for the migration, a question I might have is, when would you want to move something from one of your data center sites to another like this?
Yeah, I mean, so we have a variety of customer use cases. A lot of times it's focused on moving an application. So for example, a customer may, as I mentioned before, want to augment their application with native services to begin modernizing it.
Yeah.
They can bring that application to the cloud and then choose how they want to migrate without having to be an all or nothing approach to that.
Yep.
And that's a big one. The other big use case that we're seeing right now is around data center evacuation, where customers may have a colo arrangement. They may have a data center that's just needs a lot of capital investment to bring it up to what a real tier 1 data center, and so those customers want to just lift and shift everything out. And so this tool enables them to do that. We've got customers running, moving thousands and thousands of workloads using this tool, and the best part about it is that most of the time, the customer can do this while they're sleeping, right? They can just just basically schedule it to happen on Saturday night at midnight.
Well, yeah.
And there's no manual intervention required. It just moves the workload and then powers it up, or it remains powered up, and off they go.
I have to say, the fact that you can take a running application on a server and just say, make this virtual server now be in a completely different set of compute and memory and storage, and effectively have it be seamless to the experience of all the consuming connected clients. That is bonkers magic.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The first time I saw it, and at least in the VMware world, the first time everybody saw a live vMotion on premises, they thought it was magic. Yeah. And I view this the same way, that it's like, I'm moving, and this is not a recorded demo, this is a live environment. I'm live moving that workload with no downtime, nobody knows what's going on, halfway across the United States.
Yep.
And that's just, to me, that's magical, right? It's what everybody wants to make this transition easier.
Well, it seems like there's a lot of nice tooling to help support customers and all of those wants. About how long does this migration take?
It takes a couple more minutes, so we'll just kind of let that sit in the background.
We'll come back to that in a minute.
And we can refresh, but I think the other use case that we're seeing is a lot of customers don't necessarily have a good disaster recovery solution today.
Yeah.
Right?
I like how you say that so politically phrased.
I work with startup companies, and we run what's called a baseline, and that is a literal question. It's not, what is your disaster recovery plan? It is, do you even have
have you ever thought about this?
Yeah.
Or they'll say, we do, but we've never done it.
That's the next question. Have you actually ever executed and seen if your disaster recovery plan works?
No, but we know we have backups, and we know we have backups. The data's backed up. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, backups are not DR though, right? I mean, you don't want to be having to figure out how to restore 1,000 VMs in the case of an event. So the other thing that we've built on top of VMware Cloud on AWS is VMware Site Recovery, which is based on our Site Recovery Manager product on premises, and we've made it a service. So it's delivered, all you do is click a button and to add it, and it adds it to VMware Cloud on AWS. You deploy a couple of replication appliances on premises, and then you begin replicating your workloads. I think the magic of it, though, is around the runbook that you create.
Okay.
So you can set up, the order that you want workloads to come back up. So if you need the database to come up before the middle tier server, before the web server, you can set all of that order. And the other thing it does is it gives you an auditable, an audit report that you can supply to auditors to prove you actually do have a DR plan that actually works.
Yep.
Right. Back when I managed a data center, I spent so much time with this book, this binder, right, for DR that was all this stuff that the minute it went through the printer, it was out of date and just wouldn't work.
But you needed your ISO certification,
exactly.
so you needed the binder.
We had it, but you knew that there was no chance that was actually going to work when it came time for a DR event. So so that has been a big hit with our customers because it allows them two things, to get DR in place, but it also gives them their first toe into the cloud in a lot of cases. And a good starting place for them to then, we see customers then move from DR to begin migrating test dev workloads over to give developers more flexibility and then go from there to production workloads.
And how can customers get started with this, or if they're not customers yet, but they want to learn more, what's the best place?
So the best place to go is to VMware.com. So you can go to cloud.vmware.com. And on that site, you'll have a lot of information, almost information overload. But there's a lot of white papers, videos, like what I'm doing here. There's videos out there for that, for the solution in action. And then you can also request further information. And so we have a full team around the world that can come out, set up an environment so you can test it out, make sure it's going to meet your needs, and then go from there.
Okay.
So,
cool. We've got just a little bit of time left. Do you want to quickly check back up on your migration? Is it done? Or if not, they're going to have to take our word for it.
So you can see the green check mark means that it was moved.
Okay.
And so I don't know if we probably talked too much and we went past the ping. So you can see it's still pinging. It should just lose one ping packet somewhere here.
Catching it in the scroll back might be hard.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There it is. They popped by. So anyway, you have to take our word for it. I don't
take our word for it. It only missed one ping.
One ping lost, and that migrated that workload, which is running a web server, from Austin to Virginia. Which
awesome.
Is, again, is pretty magical.
Why you would want to leave Austin?
Yeah, I know. Well,
I never know.
Well, we want to get onto get into AWS.
Oh,
we want to take advantage of AWS's native services. You got to go where AWS.
You're hired.
Yeah.
Wow.
Adam, thanks for joining us for the session. It was a real pleasure.
It was awesome. Thank you so much.
And thanks, Twitch, for staying with us. It's always fun. We've got more content coming real soon, so stay with us.
Thanks.